Hello everybody and welcome back to the final episode of my SSS playthrough through Vergil's Downfall on Vergil Must Die difficulty Never Dying. So, what a nice little bookend this is, because the 6th mission is basically just the first mission again, except put between two pairs of pliers and pulled. No doubt you recognise this if you played the game, because it's the first mission again, albeit slightly longer. There are a couple more platforms that didn't exist then, a couple fights that happen where they didn't before, and of course all the enemies are different and all that kind of thing. But this is a mission that exemplifies how little money Ninja Theory were given to work with this level, and that's a damn shame, because I would have liked to end with another boss instead of another big long fight that ends with an imprisoner, which as you know, if you watched episode 4, I do not like the imprisoner. I think he's a bad enemy, I think it has too much health, and I honestly wish they just didn't exist, because otherwise this is a very solid DLC, apart from the aforementioned reusing of the first map for the last one. But I think it is it's both a little bit of an intentional bookend, and it is also just a fact that, hey guys, we run out of money. And something else that shows they run out of money is just the fact that they developed an entirely new character with incredibly in-depth combat, and I'm still having fun with him now. I'm not playing as much as I was, but, you know, we didn't even get a bloody palace. I think I'll talk a little bit on the bloody palace in a bit though, because it's something that I spent quite a lot of time talking with Sam D about, and we'll work out how it goes. But this is a tough fight, obviously. I just got hit. But what makes this encounter hard isn't the fact that you have 2 wisps and then in a bit you have, I think 5 or 6 little shielded bomb drones. It's the fact that you've got a witch and 3 wisps in the last wave, and you're fighting on this floaty fucking platform, and you can easily fall off at any time. And of course, with the increase in difficulty, every time you fall off, you lose your ranking, which you understand it's not very stylish to fall off the end of the world, but you also lose a chunk of health. Luckily that doesn't happen here, but what I do is I just activate Spiral Swords, activate Doppelganger in red mode, and I attack the witch until it dies, and it dies really fast. And thankfully, with Spiral Swords as well, the rest of the wisps die. But that fight is always where I would lose out. Not because I'd lose my stylish ranking or anything, but just because sometimes having 3 wisps and a witch attacking you at once is really bad. I think that's why it only happens once in the main game. But you know, it's a bad situation, that's just what the game's gonna give you sometimes. It's gonna say, hey dude, you okay with this? And you gotta fucking deal with it. And one thing Mission 6 is good at doing is making you deal with things. Like, in this room, it's not too bad. In the next room, after the doors close on us, it's not too bad either. Like, you have some chainsaw dudes, and they can be a nuisance if they need to be. But it's not bad until the end wave, and the end wave that Mission 6 likes to pull is the fuck you wave, and the fuck you wave has 2 butchers and a witch. And up until this point of this difficulty, the game has never given you 2 butchers and a witch to deal with. 3 butchers and a witch is what I have to deal with in the Bloody Palace, as well as two butchers and 3 witches, or 2 witches and 5 butchers. It's not that fun. But in this round we have a shit ton of chainsaw dudes, actually. And yeah, see, I didn't stomp there because if I'd stomped, I probably would have gotten fucking hit. And see, it's a miracle I didn't get hit there. Probably should have. And I actually like the chainsaw dudes, actually, because to me, they're just the right consistency of punching bag and legitimate threat, because they can fuck you up if they hit you, but they're kind of easy to not get hit by. Unlike imprisoners, which are less legitimate threats and more illegitimate, but still vastly big threats, and less easily avoided and more bullshit. But I shouldn't start talking about imprisoners because, once again, big subject. And I think this is the last wave before the fuck you wave. And this means that you'll just face a bunch of rage puppies and, yeah, a few of the Hell Knights. But what I like to do is manipulate the spawn. What happens is, you see the butchers spawn first, and then you turn the camera around immediately, and you do the standard witch removal, spiral swords, doppelganger, demon mode. And there you go, witch removed. Forcing the spawns like that is only useful in a few situations, but it is extremely useful when it is useful, because enemies will only spawn if you can see them, or that more like they'll only spawn where you can see them. So if you have, say, 2 butchers and a witch, then you see the butchers spawn, you turn the camera around as fast as you can, and if you're lucky, or if you did it right, then you should see the witch or whatever else was troubling you spawn where you can see them. And this can be helpful mainly with witches because other enemies seem to have spawn priority over them for some reason. But we're into Mission 6 again, and, well, this is a symptom of Mission 6. You could completely forget that there are even some fights in there. There's this one, which is quite notable because it has 2 rages, and later on it has a bunch of harpies. You don't think it's here, or at least I didn't, and holy crap, how did I make it back there? But I think I actually fall off a few times here. Yep, bye. But this fight is basically just, if you took the ends of Mission 1 and pulled it with a pair of pliers, you'd probably get a little bit of breakage here and there, and imagine that they really did just do that. They pulled the level out and then took a few rock platforms and put them in between places, or turned some pieces of architecture into platforms, and they just put fights there. They put long fights there. And these fights are long because, well, they have harder enemies in them. And rages do a lot of damage. They're also the other enemy that does an appropriate amount of damage, I think. And harpies aren't bad either. Harpies do some pretty significant damage if they hit you a couple times in a row. As I'm prone to getting hit a couple times in a row, I hate them. Absolutely hate them. Because the game counts them as being on camera, or as being actively, there I die again, as being actively on camera when they're high up above it. So the only way to know they're about to attack is by their audio cue. And I know this is more a fault of mine than the game designers, but I don't play with high volume a lot of the time. Sometimes when I'm playing, I have a YouTube video playing, or maybe I'm just playing with low volume because I have a headache. And if that happens, then I can't hear anything, and I get clocked by harpies all the time. And I think while I was recording this, I was actually watching a YouTube video as well. But I must have just kept them on screen a good fair bit. And there's the end of that fight. I love how the slow motion atomic looks, actually. But if you get to this point with a decent amount of health, then you can congratulate yourself, because there is no fight when you go and land on this platform. There is just the final fight with a couple of tyrants first, some rounds full of beat-em-up elite Stygians and chainsaw dudes, a couple of wisps, and then a fight with 3 wisps and an imprisoner. And with the fight with a witch and 3 wisps was rough. A fight with 3 wisps and an imprisoner is rougher. Some trivia about this next area though. If you climb too high, like if you bring yourself up with another enemy really high, if you come back down again, you won't hit solid ground. There'll just be nothing there. The entire area, like the ground beneath you, will just completely despawn, and you'll go and the screen will fade to black and you'll spawn back on the platform again, but as if you'd taken fall damage from just ending up off the edge. I have a video of this on my channel, but oh my god. That video came from when I was recording this entire run, and it was so fucking frustrating to get to that point, to be like so close to finishing this long, this long challenging level, and then to take fall damage like that. It was just, because at that time I was going, okay, well I'll do mission 6 no damage, and up to that point I had, I think, if I can remember right. And that's just, I don't know, I think everyone can kind of relate to that moment where things have been going so picture perfectly well, and then the game just fucks you for no particular reason. It goes, oh, by the way, here's a glitch. Like, it wasn't particularly game breaking, and if I'd been any other person playing for any other reason, like to just defeat that final level, then that would have been nothing. It would have been just been, oh, that was weird, you know? That's all it would have been. It would have been, hey, okay, that was kind of strange. I wonder how that happened. And then you would have just continued on with your life like a normal human being, but because we as gamers are not normal human beings, and we're trained to be irrationally angry for about 30 seconds because the game decides to fuck you. It's why I respect when I see anyone on YouTube, regardless of the quality of their video, regardless of anything like that, able to do anything skillful like no damage in a game, because they can fuck you. They can fuck you really hard, and anyone who hasn't seen the outtakes, who hasn't recorded or hasn't experienced what it's like to go for something like that, don't appreciate the value of what you've done. And fuck this fight. I hate the Imprisoner, I hate the Wisps, I hate everything about it. And look, it did the thing where the projectile just exploded into nothing. I didn't get the parry, even though I would've with that timing. It just disappeared, did nothing. When other times, if you're between 50 other enemies and it's off screen, it would've just hit you. Ugh. Anyway, that's actually the end of the level. That is the end of my SSS no death playthrough of Vergil's Downfall. I won't be doing this for the main game, because even though I do like the main game and I do like playing with Dante, I don't like playing as much with Vergil as I do. So I don't like playing as much with Dante as much as I do with Vergil. And I'm also at that comfortable point where I think I've expressed my views and my opinions on this game, and how great of a job Ninja Theory managed to do with the DLC, in spite of a few enemy design choices and everything. I think the main game is really good, but I don't think I can talk for as long as it takes to cover the bloody 20 missions or whatever it is. Not with this type of commentary. I'm just not that talkative a person. So thank you for watching. I've enjoyed making this series, even though it has been kind of a long development process anyway, because I had school and stuff. But thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.